to our off-grid bathroom. I wanted to do a little video to show you how we use a composting toilet, since we don't have any access to city water or any utilities here. And so we use a composting toilet that we really love a lot. We've been using it for several years and it works great. So the first thing I want to do is show you our bathroom. This is our toilet. I think it's kind of funny that we use these Home Depot buckets with "let's do this." Kind of gives you a little extra incentive if you're having some trouble going. So this is how this works. You just have one of these regular buckets that you can buy anywhere at any hardware store, and then you buy these camping toilet lids. So it's just a plastic toilet lid. It has a lid that goes up like this, and then this seat snaps onto the top of the bucket. So they're made to fit these buckets. So it works really great. They're very comfortable. And so what you do is you put peat moss in the bottom of your bucket. And I keep the peat moss in here so it's easy to get to. So you start off with an empty bucket. Put a scoop of peat moss in there, a couple of scoops. You want to make sure that the whole bottom is covered. And then you do your business in your bucket. You can combine both urine and poo in your bucket if you want to, but I found that it's best if you just put the number 2 in your bucket. It keeps it a lot drier, and it makes sure that there's no smell. If you put a lot of urine in here, you might have a little bit of smell. And it also makes the bucket heavier and it's just messier. So, so we just put number 2 in our bucket. And so you just keep putting your stuff in the bucket every time you go. You cover it up with more peat moss. Make sure the whole thing's covered up. After you have it covered with peat moss, you can kind of press down and make sure that there's no air. The most amazing thing about this, and what people have trouble believing, but is absolutely true, is there is no smell. No smell whatsoever. Even in the middle of the summer when it's super hot outside, there is no smell, as long as you cover it up really well with your peat moss. And the way this works is that as long as there is no air touching your number 2 in your bucket, then there's no way that there can be any smell. And so that's why it's important to use something like peat moss that's very fine, so that you don't have any air pockets inside of your bucket. So you keep doing this, just filling it up. Usually it'll take us about maybe, if we're here all the time, it'll take us about a week to fill up a bucket. Once you get up to the top, then you unsnap the lid. Let's see how that works. It unsnaps like that. And then you would take it out and empty it in your bin, your compost bin. And then start a new bucket. So after your bucket is already full, and we have a full bucket right here, then you would empty this in your compost bin. So we're going to take this out and I'm going to show you our compost bin. We use the Humanure Method, and you can look this up online and read all about it. So what this means is that you put your waste in your compost bin and then you let it sit for at least 2 years. And after it has sat for 2 years, it's completely safe. All of the bad bacteria, anything dangerous in it is completely gone after 2 years, and it's even safe to put on your veggie garden. So I'm going to show you our compost bin. We're going to empty this bucket. So this is our compost bin. We are not we're not carpenters, so don't judge too harshly, but it works for us. So we just have this front piece that just latches onto the front. And when we need to get into it, we just let this down. And then we've got 3 bins. So this was our first bin. It's got some weeds growing in it. We got to clean that out. And so so that is now 2 years old. Every year we go to the next bin. So that first bin we started using over 2 years ago. And so it is actually safe and ready to be used. This is our bin from last year. So it needs another year to cure. We're actually just now starting our 3rd bin. So I need to go get my pitchfork. So you just use straw. You cover it up with straw. You want to make sure you have a little bit of straw in the bottom before you start a new one. And you just Empty your bucket right there. So for a while we were using these, they're compostable plastic bags, or not, I guess they're not even plastic, but they're compostable bags. What we have found though is that they don't compost fast enough. So this is the last one, the last bucket we used a bag in, and so from now on we're just gonna not use any bags at all and just clean the bucket by hand. So here goes, just dump it. No smell. Every once in a while when you dump there's a little bit of smell, but this time there's none. And you can see it's already turning into this rich dirt. Easy peasy. And there are so many people that when I tell them what we do, they just think it's the most disgusting thing in the world, and it really isn't at all. I think that it's so much more environmentally friendly to, instead of flushing your doo down, somebody else has to deal with it and you know, do all the stuff that they got to do with it. We completely take care of that all on our own, and we use this system so that we're able to put it back into the earth, and so it's just this wonderful cycle. So I love this method. I'm surprised sometimes by how many off-grid people have never heard of the Humanure Method, but I think it works great, and so hopefully this has been a helpful video. Thanks. Cleaning out the bucket's easy. Just use one of these pressurized hoses. Use bleach. Easy peasy.